We'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. So great to see all of you guys today. I'm super excited because social media is really fun to talk about, but not necessarily always super fun to do. But whenever you know what you're doing, it makes things so much better, so much easier. And whenever you have a plan. So that's what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about how to design things and then what should be on every single social media post. And then at the end, we're going to talk about strategy. And so that way, there's a workbook that I have for you guys, but I wanted to wait to give it to you until the end of the class because if I give it to you right now, then you're going to sit here and you're going to, especially my little sister, she's going to sit here, she's going to fill out the workbook while I'm talking. And so it's much better to have the workbook that you can go to afterwards. So it's going to talk a lot about brand and it's going to go through all of the questions because a lot of you on this call actually right now are going through this phase of figuring out what you want your brand to look like. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit of just about like why I'm here, why I can even talk about this as a subject matter expert. And then we're going to actually dive into Stephanie's brand and I'm going to show you guys what she's doing right now, like with her logo, her colors, and then we're going to create a brand kit inside of Canva. So that way these things are really easy to use later on. Because when things are easier to use and you have that plan like we talked about, then you are going to be able to, sorry, I'm like letting people in here. Okay. Um, then you're going to be able to come to your computer, get on Canva and post your social media a lot quicker than if you didn't have a plan to begin with. So I am going to get my presentation ready here. And like I said, I will send you guys this workbook as soon as we get off the call. And I'll send you the recording as well, so that way you have it. Um, and then you can kind of reference the recording if you need to. Okay, you guys see my presentation and that's it? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Um, all right, so we are going to, this is a table of contents. So we're going to talk about your brand kit. We're going to talk about brand messaging. We're going to talk about brand templates. So brand templates are creating like 7 different templates. So that way it feels a lot easier to post every day because as we know, consistency is totally key when it comes to social media. I don't think there's anything as important except for giving them your money for paid ads. So then we're going to talk about Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. And then we're going to talk about the posts, and then we're going to talk about LinkedIn. So these are my favorite social media platforms. I hopefully nobody wanted to hear all about Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it today, because we're not going to talk about that actually at all. And then social media demographics. So where your target audience is, we're going to talk about that as well. And we're going to talk about like age, gender, that kind of thing. And then social media strategy, we're going to talk about the best days to post and the best times to post. And it's actually super interesting. I did a lot of research, a lot of current research, like literally yesterday to make sure that this was all up to date. And it's really interesting to figure out what times are best to post. And then we'll talk about consistency. And then at the very end, I'm going to show you guys 50 different ideas to post on social media. So that way you can create that plan. And actually inside of your workbook, there is a calendar so you can write on it what you want to be posting about. That's what I do. I don't have it right next to me, but I have a huge, one of those big, huge desktop calendars that I write on, and then I go ahead and create the posts based on what's written on that calendar. It's just kind of fun because then I make different, each day, different colors and different things like that. So that is going to be what we're going to talk about. And I just want to let you guys know, like I've been in this business for about 14 years and had my web design and branding agency for that length of time. And I went and worked at a couple other agencies just to kind of get like, get a little bit more familiar with social media and things. And so whenever I was there, we talked about a lot about like obviously content creation and that kind of thing. And of course, this new world of ChatGPT and AI has really changed the game of being able to come up with content like quick, right? So we want to definitely utilize that. So we're going to talk about that. And there's actually inside of your workbook that you will get, there is a ChatGPT prompt that will help you so much when it comes to recognizing your brand. And that is kind of like one thing that I would take notes on while we're here is I would say that whenever I say a ChatGPT prompt, I would go ahead and write that down because it's going to be really beneficial for you to have the correct prompt. That is the key when it comes to ChatGPT. And if you have the paid version, it starts learning you. And so it knows exactly who I am. If I tell it, write me a bio, it literally spits out this beautiful bio because it knows that I'm a web designer, that I love personal development, that I've written a book, and all of these things. So it's really, really cool to whenever you have the right prompts, what it spits out, and it really feels a little bit more like your voice, because I think that's what people don't like about ChatGPT is like, well, it's not really me. Well, the better prompt you can give it, it is you, right? It's learning you, it's figuring out your voice, and so it is you speaking on social media or on your website or whatever you're using the ChatGPT prompts for. So we're going to talk about social media creation first. So your brand kit includes your logo, your colors, your fonts, which I usually tell people 4 is a really great number. You have one for your heading, one for a subheading, one for your body copy, so it's a little bit smaller, and then a display font will typically be more of a cursive kind of like handwriting font if you like that. If you don't, perfect. But I would say it's more of something that you're going to use a little bit more sparingly. And then we're going to talk about brand voice because, again, a lot of you on this call are really diving into this right now and are trying to figure out all of these things about your business. And so it's really nice to have that cohesiveness whenever it comes to social media and your brand, just in general. Then we're going to talk about imagery and then different graphics that you can make your own, and then icons, of course. So I'm actually going to get out of this screen and switch over to Canva. So Stephanie is spotlighted today. You should be able to see her over in your gallery. And Stephanie, you're more than welcome to speak up whenever you want to. So Stephanie right now is rebranding a little bit. She is an esthetician and she does amazing skincare here in the Kansas City area. I think at least 3 or 4 of my family members go to her, and I've been to her, of course, as well. And so she is rebranding right now, and her place is called Skin Studio. So you can see right here, this is what she has sent me in the last couple of days. She's like, well, I really like these bright, fresh colors, but I don't really know if they're too young or anything. So I'm going to kind of get your guys' opinion. To make sure I have my chat open here. Get your guys' opinion on, let's see, Zoom chat. My chat is missing. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, Stephanie says, I'm so new to playing around with Canva. Nothing will hurt her feelings. Okay, so this is this is probably her 3rd iteration that I've seen of the logo, right? And she really likes these colors. Does anybody think that they seem like too young? Do you like this version or this version better? So put in the chat 1 or 2. Number 2. Okay. So then this is the other one that she had sent me. I personally love this font. So on this one, I think 1 and 2 are actually, yeah, 1 and 2 on that one are the same. But then this is number 3. So on this one, number 2 or number 3? You can just put it in the chat. Number 3. Okay. Bright colors, right? So she was thinking that this might look a little bit too young, but I personally think that if you love it, you should go with it. Because whenever I design logos for people, I want them to, I literally have to hear the word love from them before I'm like, okay, we're done. We're ready to move on and create the logo in different ways. And I personally think too that she could have this logo and she could have it with the yellow background and then the green here. As long as it still has the same fonts and same idea, you can use it in different ways. So I would say that that is definitely good. So I had helped her just a little bit on these. And then, so, okay, so Jill put number 2 here. So she likes this one better. So that just, Stephanie, just gives you an idea of like what other people like, which is good, but I think you're the one that ultimately has to love your logo. And I don't know what this one was, but I thought it was super cute. But then of course I had to add like a pepper.
I think that was like the font of it, and I was changing the spicy to skin and then
Okay.
studio cosmetics, but really this is like the first time I've really used Canva. So
Oh, that's, oh, I
really
think it's
that was
awesome. Yeah. So okay, so it wasn't anything really to do with spicy, it was just more about the logo. Okay, so and Stephanie, as far as you go, like which one are you liking better? This one, well, sorry, this one, or I'm trying to click on the right things here. This one or this one?
So I like the simplicity of the first or the number two just because it's clean. And I think that's where I'm like back and forth because I think I gear towards more of like older, anti-aging, that kind of clientele. That's where I'm kind of back and forth with the third one. Like, is that gearing towards like teenagers? And if it's not, then great. I love bright, eclectic type of colors. So that's kind of like my thinking with going with the third one. So I'm back and forth on what to do. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times these decisions kind of get us in this procrastination, like this whole over analysis, right? And so I personally think that at being a 40-year-old woman, people say middle-aged all the time. I don't feel like I'm middle-aged yet. I feel like once I hit like 50, I'll be middle-aged. But I think that whenever I see this logo, it looks bright and youthful to me. And so that to me is a positive thing. I don't know if everybody feels that way. You're more than welcome to put your comments in the chat. Christine says, could you do a mix of the three? Yes, of course, right? I think that you should go with the colors you love and, figure out kind of from there which logo you're going to end up using. So I think we should definitely, at least for today, because my idea for today is to go through and create this for Stephanie so that way you guys know what to go into Canva and create. So we will actually, Stephanie just said, let's do number three for today. Okay, so she might change it a bit, and that's perfectly fine. So, um, so do you like the black in the background or the white for it to like bring it out a little bit more?
Mm, oh. Oh, I'm unmuted. I'm sorry. I like the lighter one of
This
the
one,
three.
this one.
Yeah. I think
Okay,
it just looks brighter and fun. I mean,
okay.
I like them both, but I let's do that one for today.
Okay. And can you also put in the chat if you use Canva or if you've never used Canva before? Canva has a free version and then they have a version that it used to be $12.95 a month, and I think it still is. It is absolutely amazing. So most people that are posting on social media are able to come in here and create social media posts so much faster. So if you don't have Canva, I would definitely say get it. Um, Okay, so Christine says if you have a nonprofit, you can get Canva Pro for free, just FYI. Awesome. Okay, so what we are going to do is we're going to keep this logo here and we are going to go over to just the main screen on Canva. Do I even have that still open? I don't think so. Oops, not ChatGPT. Getting ahead of myself here. There we go. Canva. All right. So if you're not familiar with Canva, you can come in here and you can create pretty much anything design-wise that you want to, and there's templates for everything. So there's presentations. I use Canva for all my presentations. There's Instagram posts, any type of social media you want. We can even create videos in here, and they have a website builder, which I don't know anything about that, but I haven't even tried it or anything. So I'm not sure how it works. Probably creates it with a whole bunch of code that you probably don't want on your website for SEO purposes. But that being said, we are going to come over here and I'm going to show you guys how to create a brand kit, which will make your life so much easier going forward. So when you come over here in Canva and go over to this brand, and this is for the paid version, it's not for the free version, but even in the free version, you can create templates that have your colors, your fonts, your logo, and everything on them. So that way, you don't have to actually have this brand kit. So we are going to create a brand kit for Skin Studio. Okay, so the first thing that it does, which is super cool, is it actually will pull your colors straight from your logo whenever you put it in here. I gotta find got too many windows open. Okay, so we're gonna close that one. Stephanie, here we go. Okay, so we're gonna download. Page 4. So we're going to drag that and drop it into here, and it's going to pull the colors right from here. So you can see that they have this hex code. If anybody is working with me and we're doing a website or we're doing anything together, I'm gonna ask you for these colors. And so these are your hex codes that you are going to keep using. Okay, so we're gonna keep these ones, and then we're going to add probably a little bit more of a neutral, kind of like light gray, just because I like it. And hopefully Stephanie does too. And then couple more like neutral colors in here. So I would say you always want to have 3 colors, 3 brighter colors, or if you don't like bright colors, 3 main colors that are going to be used everywhere, and then 2 more neutral. So like white, brown, black, whatever you want to use. So I would say have about 5 colors. And then of course, we'll probably use white and black, right? So she can have these in here just to have them in here. And let's see. So we can drag this one down to black, and there's her color palette. Okay, so if you're working with me again, a lot of times I will send you over to this super cool website. It's called coolors.co. And you can come in here and you can actually generate your color palette if you don't even have it yet. So you can start this generator, it's free. And you can say you want to choose one color that you love. Turquoise is always my go-to. And so I will always start with that. And actually, kind of like Tiffany blue is really like right now one of my favorites. So that's what I would choose. And then you lock this, and you can literally just hit the space bar and start going through and picking new colors if you don't know what your color palette is. And so once you get to another one you love, you come over here and you lock it. And then you can take a screenshot of this and you can send it to me or whoever your brand designer is. Or you can put this directly into your brand template here. So it's a really, really great way to figure out what those brand colors that you love are. All right. And it's really fun to play with. Just don't end up sitting there for hours, right? Whenever, or you can if you want to, but I always get stuck in analysis paralysis. And so I try to get off there as fast as I can. Okay, so then moving on, besides that, we're going to set up some fonts. So the fonts that Stephanie has used, keep going back to my stuff. Here's Stephanie's stuff. Okay, so this is called, you can see the font right here, this Tanglewood. So we're going to put that as, I would say, a little bit more of like we'll call it title. They call it a title in here, and I would call it more of like a display font. And you can choose that font right here. And Tangle. I thought that's what it said. Tangk, Tangk. Surely there's only one of those. Stephanie, where did you find this font? It's on here, but I don't know. I don't see it showing up.
I know. I think when I went back to play around with it, I couldn't find it either.
Really?
So was it the very, very first one? Was it the top one? Um, no. Like when you were on that other screen, I thought I saw it as the first option, but maybe not.
This is so interesting. Normally their fonts just like show up. Okay, well, we're not going to waste too much time on that. So what we'll do is we will keep using this font just by copying and pasting it. So that way, because I don't know why it's not showing up there. That has actually never happened to me. So Aileron is the other one. So we'll put that one here. And this might actually be it. It's just called something else. So we're going to put that in here for now because that does look like it.
Yeah, honestly, and that looks great too. So that's totally fine.
We'll figure it out. Okay, so this is going to be her subtitle font, and then she's going to choose a body font. So a body font is going to typically be one of two kinds, which is a sans serif or it is going to be a serif font. So if you come over here and you're trying to figure out what fonts to use, and this is not just for your logo, guys, this is literally for all of your social media posts. So typically you can go up here and type in sans serif and all of these other fonts will show up. So you can see that the sans serif fonts are the ones that don't necessarily have the like little tick marks at the end. And then the serif fonts are the ones that have the that look a little bit more like this, that have the little tick marks at the end. So you can just figure out which one you like better. Stephanie, do you kind of know which one, as far as that goes, which one you like better with the ones with the ticks or not?
Um, I have no opinion.
Okay.
Whatever one you think looks better. I think yeah, either one's fine.
Okay. And I'm assuming since you picked this font that you probably like that one. So
Yeah,
we'll just go with
that's
that one for
fine.
your
Yeah,
body font. Yeah.
perfect.
Okay. So you can actually set in here what size you want them and everything. So you can go in here too, and they'll have like thin, light, regular, as far as the thickness of the font, the boldness. Um, And so the main things that you want to do here are your logo, your color palette, and then your fonts. So the other things here are going to be a little bit more customized. You can drag in photos that you love and they will show up underneath your brand as well. And then your brand voice is something that we're going to talk about here in just a minute. So these are definitely optional, but these are the things that'll really, really help you out when creating your social media posts are the things that we already have in here. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over and we are going to actually create, Stephanie, a social media post. And we'll come in here and go to Canva and create, do you want to create a reel or do you want to create a post?
Oh gosh. Either one. What's easier to do, or what does
Probably a
everybody
post.
else want to learn? A post? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we'll talk
perfect.
about reels for sure too. So
Yeah, that's perfect.
yeah. So this is in the presentation as well, but while this loads up, the reels are going to be, so lives are going to be your absolute best, right? Then reels and stories. People, especially the younger crowd, watches stories more than anything else. But then reels are going to get seen on TikTok and Instagram more often. And I would absolutely say that if you're not on Instagram right now, you should be, just because of the fact that it's so easy to post to both of those at the same exact time from your phone. You can actually, there's a social media calendar built right in here into Canva that you can use as well. And then if any of you guys are onboarding onto my software, there's a place to post any kind of social media that you want. We will talk a little bit about that as well. But then regular, just static posts are the fourth best. But the really cool thing about static posts is that they're going to be what shows up on your Instagram as a post. Your reels will too, but they're going to be what actually shows up in those little squares that you see on Instagram. So you want to have some of those as well, not just do reels, not just do stories. So I would say a good mixture of all of it is
Love you
great. And
guys.
you can actually post to your stories as well. Um, you can make any reel or anything like that, actually post to your story kind of in the moment as well. It gives you that option. So we're going to come up here and go to design. And Stephanie, what is one thing that you like to post about as far as like skincare goes?
I love talking about sunscreen all of the time.
Okay.
So that's just the use of wearing sunscreen all throughout the year. That's something, I mean, benefits of at home skincare and coming into the studio. I mean, I think those are three things that I post often
Okay.
when I post, but I don't post right now.
Well, you're going to after this, right? So,
Yes.
so as far as you can see over here on the left-hand corner, what kind of is speaking to you as I go through here?
Sorry, I'm looking. I even like that one that says coming soon. Like I feel like that
This,
like well, actually like the more crazy looking one at the bottom,
the
but
one.
with the pink and
Oh,
green
here.
and beige.
That's almost your colors.
Maybe that's why. I'm not sure. if that's a little too like looks like a movie that's about to come out or skincare, but
I think it's I think it's fine. If you like it, it's fine. But the main thing that we want to worry about here is that it is your colors, right? So we're going
yep.
to change this pink to be your color. So if you can see over here, you can see your color palette come up um, over here. So you select that brand kit, and then we can use her pink color. So this is going to be one of the most important things is using your colors, your fonts, and everything. So then there are 7 things that should definitely be on each one of your social media posts, and they are here. So your logo, your colors, your fonts, your contact information. A lot of people leave this off, not even thinking about it. At least, at minimum, you want your website, right? And then a call to action. What do you want them to do, right? Do you want them to put on sunscreen? Do you want them to call you? What do you want them to do? And I would say come up with a call to action that's pretty familiar on each one so that way you don't have to think about it every time. And then you are going to have obviously your caption that goes along with your imagery that you're putting on social media. So these are the things that you absolutely want in every reel, every story, every post, because the whole idea of social media is brand recognition. We want people to always recognize your logo, your colors, all of your stuff. So that way later on, when they're getting ready to purchase from you, they already have you in their head and they are knowing, liking, and trusting you, right? So that is definitely why we want to make these social media posts very, very, very consistent. So we can change all of these to her colors. And you can see down here at the left-hand side in the bottom corner, you can click on this change all. So it's literally going to change all of that pink color to Stephanie's colors. Then we're going to come up here and we're going to change this to her color as well. She's going to start liking this more and more the more we do this. And so these are becoming her colors. Sometimes fonts do a little bit different. So we come up here and we will change this to her color and then change the, let the green to pop up here. These over, move it a little and then change this over to her color. Okay. So she can either keep this font or she can use that other one that she liked if we can find it. Oh, I don't think that is the same one. Let's do this. This should not happen to you guys as far as not being able to find the font. So we're going to say why wear sunscreen. Okay, because that's what she's going to want to post about. Okay, so then we can change how close these are together here, like a line spacing. Okay, and then we can actually change the letter spacing to kind of squeeze in too if we want to, whatever you guys like. I like when things overlap a little. Some people don't like that. So then you can see how this is sitting behind it. So we are going to do that same thing with the green. So we're going to copy. So I just hit Command C, but you can also click this little button right here that says duplicate as well and change over to her colors. We're going to flip this and make it kind of like that post was because she liked it for some reason, right? We're going to do the same thing here. And then we're going to put this one either behind or on top. Which color of those green or pink do you like better, Stephanie?
I think I liked the green in the background because it looks like blurry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I
Okay.
like that better.
So yeah, on that,
Oh,
just go
there's
to,
3 E's in there.
is there?
It's
Yeah, that
okay.
looks kind of funny.
It's fine.
Okay, so let's delete that. Okay. So when you come up here, you go to position and then you can toggle things around to go to forward, front, all of that. And then you have your layers. So you can see all of these as well. Okay, so we want to put her logo on here, right? So I'm actually going to delete this. I think simpler is better, especially on something that is super fun like this. But we're going to make sure that we have her website. I don't know what your website is. I'm just going to do this for now. Okay, do you like these black or do you think that they should be green?
I think Black, I mean, black probably is more bold for them to see like where to book and where to do. I mean, that's where my thinking's at. If that's,
Yeah, I think whatever you want.
yeah,
But like
let's
I
do
said,
that.
don't
Yeah.
second guess yourself too much inside of here. Otherwise, you will be literally in here for
I think that's what I've been
hours.
doing the past week is I've been like obsessing with what I'm going to do.
Right. So you can see her fonts here. And we will change this font to her font, right? And then we will change that one to her font as well. So then we're going to come over and we're going to grab her logo. So right now we're probably not going to have that green behind it, but you can always have it in different versions to where you have the green behind it or you don't. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. She likes the lighter one. So the logo will show up in a couple of different places. I typically will put it in the bottom right or left corner. And then you can group these together so you don't have to get them all mixed up and you can make it smaller.
I really like that without the green in the background too.
Yeah,
Like the
and so you can
simple
use it so many different ways. You can make pink the background, you can make green. As long as you just stick with the same colors, it's perfect.
perfect.
Um, So, okay, so then actually your brand will actually show up over here as well. So your logo will show up here if you ever want it with the green background over here. And then you can put your different versions back inside that brand kit as well. So we want to say, we'll just say like visit my website for full blog post. So maybe Stephanie created a blog post about this sunscreen. Okay. So then that's getting people over to your website. There's one key here. Whenever you post on social media, you want them to, you don't want to put the link inside your post. Facebook kicks it out because Facebook wants you to stay on Facebook. So I would put the link in the comments, the very first comment after you post. So that way more people will see your post to begin with. Um, so, and you can obviously, you can make these whatever color you want as well. We'll make this one green and then her website. Let's see what pink looks like. So you can play around and just do whatever you looks feels good to you there. I personally love this lift. It just gives it a little bit of a glow and it kind of pulls it off the screen a little bit, kind of like these do. But you can use any of these effects that you like. And that's what Stephanie actually did with her logo. She used this curve one to create that circle. Um, okay, so this is her social media post, right? So now she needs a caption for the social media post. So she's going to come over here and she's going to go to ChatGPT and she's going to say, knowing what you know about my business, because that's in your workbook, is we're going to put this into ChatGPT. Knowing what you know about my business as an esthetician, I'm going to totally spell this wrong, so don't judge. I don't know how to spell it. I think there's an H in there. But create a social media post about sunscreen and why you should wear it. This is another thing we're going to talk about. Include relevant hashtags and a couple emojis. Okay. And we want the characters, we're going to talk about all of this here in a minute, to be around 100. Okay. So it did it for us, right? So now we have hashtags, we have a couple emojis, and then we have the little sun up here. So this is perfect because social media has like an exact number that they want in each post. And like on Facebook, for instance, 50 characters is all you really want to have on your Facebook posts. They get seen more because Facebook likes short and sweet. So we will talk about all of that here in a bit. But one way you can do this, if you're doing a bunch of social media at once, you can come up here and you can put a comment right here and then just go ahead and paste that in there. So now you know exactly what to be posting on social media whenever you are going to be scheduling these out. So that keeps you inside of Canva, that keeps you going, right? If you want to schedule inside of Canva, you have to have the paid version, but you can come over here, and mine aren't connected because I have a whole different platform that I use, because I have so many different social media accounts. Sorry, I'm trying to find it here. You can go to this schedule right here, and you can pick a day and time for this post to go out. Okay, so you select which channel you want, and you connect your any of these: Instagram, Facebook, X, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Slack. So if you want to do your Facebook, you would have to connect it, but you can post right inside of here, which makes it so much easier, right? That's what we want with social media, guys. We really want it to be as easy as possible, so we're not having to recreate the wheel. Another really cool thing that you can do is you can resize this for an Instagram reel. So copy and resize. So now we're going to have a reel from the exact same post, and you can change the content on here. And a lot of times they'll have imagery, so you can change out the imagery. So we'll open this video, and it never comes out perfectly whenever it switches over to a reel, but a lot of times it comes out pretty good where you just have to drag things around just a bit. So you would select these, pull them up in the corner. And you can actually reuse social posts too, guys, because nobody is seeing all of your stuff. So if you wanted to post it as a post one week and then as a reel the very next week, you could absolutely do that. So then you would just come in here and make it look a little bit more like it's supposed to be fitting here. And what a reel is a video, if you guys didn't know that. So these things will pop out and you download it as a video and you can actually play it, right? So since it started out as a post, you'll actually have to add in the animation, but super easy too. You just click this animation and you click it to where it'll pop up. Maybe these come in and they come in after, right? So we're just creating a little bit of movement, which creates the video. And again, don't get too stuck on this. Nobody cares what's popping in where, just as long as it's a video, because Facebook and Instagram like videos better. So now they'll see this whenever they see a reel. It's beautiful, right? So what I always tell people is, I'll go back to my thing here real quick. What I always tell people is that they should create about 7 different templates. So at the end of this, you can see that there will be 50 different ideas of what the templates could be. I like having kind of a different structure for each day. So people used to do like the Mindful Mondays or the Success Sunday or whatever you want to call it, but it gets that strategy to where you can have it all written down and then you don't have to worry so much about it. So we will move on just a little bit here so we can get through everything. Our brand messaging is so important. So the mission is your brand purpose. Your vision is your long-term goal, where you see your company going. And then your brand values are 4 to 6 keywords that really speak your language, right? And then your brand voice is your style of communication. So whenever you're thinking about your brand voice, you really want to think about who your target audience is. And most businesses, especially in the field that most of you guys are in, they are speaking from a place that probably used to be you. You used to be your own target audience. And so you know who to talk to, right? Well, if I was myself 5 years ago, what would I say to get myself to purchase from me, right? So that is huge. So I'm going to skip past this and go back to it. So these are words that are going to be kind of the words that you would pick. So the best way to go through this, and I'll send you guys the presentation as well, so you'll have this, but you want to pick 4 to 6 words that are your brand values, right? What really speaks to you? Is it courage, optimism, transformation, beauty, mindfulness, wellness, whatever it is, what speaks to you? So the best way to do this is to look at this, or if you already have your words, great, but look at this and then mark, like circle 10, okay? Start with 10 and then kind of narrow it down to your top favorites, because a lot of times we'll end up picking words that mean the same thing. So you can typically narrow it down to 4 to 6 words that you really like. And then going back to that brand voice, these are kind of what the brand voice is. And these are things that you will put into ChatGPT. And ChatGPT will learn that your voice is either funny or serious or passionate or neutral or authoritative versus friendly, right? How do you want to approach people? Are you assertive? Do you want to be a little more passive? How do you want your content to be? So these are really, really great prompts for ChatGPT to know about you. And you can even say to ChatGPT, ask me any questions that you need to know to make this post sound more like me. And ChatGPT will spit out probably 10 different questions to ask you. You answer them, and then it will know you even better. So that is one of my favorite things about ChatGPT. Okay, so as far as post messaging goes, this is always going to be about those captions we talked about. So again, did the research and tried to figure out the most relevant information here. So for Facebook, hashtags, you want to use 1 to 2 per post. And then your post, you want to have 50 characters or less. That includes your hashtags, okay? So they receive higher engagement, and then 1 to 2 emojis. So Facebook, super simple, right? Instagram, you 30 hashtags are allowed, but you only want to use 3 to 5. And then as far as characters go, keep it under 125. And then emojis, use them just sparingly, right? You don't want an emoji everywhere, and make sure that they're really relevant with your post. Again, just ask ChatGPT to do it, copy and paste, right? And make sure that I would read all of the posts though that come out of ChatGPT and make sure that they're really relevant and they're speaking your language. Change a couple words for sure. TikTok, one of my favorites actually, use 2 to 3 relevant hashtags to maximize discoverability. And then your characters are limited to 300, but keep them a little bit more concise and don't use all 300 characters. Utilize your emojis to add personality, convey emotions, aligning with TikTok's casual and creative culture, which I feel like it definitely is. And then YouTube, you want to add up to 60 hashtags, but using more than 60 may lead to limited visibility and removal of the video. So video descriptions can be up to 1,000 characters, and I would probably put a pretty lengthy description in your YouTube videos. And I can give you, there's a tool called vidIQ, VIDIQ, and it will actually go into your YouTube and it will optimize everything for you. It will tell you exactly what it should say versus what it does say. It is an amazing tool. I haven't really been able to totally dive in as much as I would like into it to tell you guys more about that, but it is really good if you're really wanting to maximize your YouTube. And YouTube is the second most used search engine. So it is nearly as good as running Google Ads, guys. So you really want to make sure that if you're not on YouTube, that you are creating those short videos just like TikTok, right? People are scrolling through YouTube like they do TikTok. Did I go? Okay, so emojis, use titles or descriptions to draw attention and convey emotion. But yeah, be sure they align with the video's audience and the content, right? LinkedIn hashtags incorporate 1 to 2 relevant hashtags. LinkedIn is a little bit more of a business audience, so I would definitely limit those, but it always does help to use them. So you want to also make sure that like the posts, what like truncated, they actually cut off the rest of the post and they have to click see more. So you want that first 25 words to be really powerful to get them to read the entire post. And if you can keep it inside that 25 words, even better. And then emojis used sparingly, right, to maintain that professionalism that you're going to use on LinkedIn. So a lot of people ask me and you guys are more than welcome to ask questions in the chat. Let me actually pull it back up while we're talking about all this social media stuff. I think I'll have to exit out of that to get back to the chat. Okay, so yes, go ahead and put any questions that you guys have in the chat and we'll run through those now that I can actually see them. But I am gonna pull the chat down here so I can still see it. Where did my present go? Present, there we go. Okay, it looks like I'm going to have to go out of this to actually be able to read the chat. But yes, go ahead and put questions in there if you have them. Most people ask me, where should I post and how often should I post? So my answer always is to do one thing really great. Pick one platform that you absolutely love posting on, and it's easy. So whenever you are posting, like maybe you have long form videos like this, what I'm going to do with this video today for the social media is I'm going to reuse this. I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut it up into little pieces using Opus Clips. So that way I upload the video and then it clips it into 30 or 40 different social media posts And I can use those on TikTok, I can use them on YouTube, I can use them on Instagram and Facebook as Reels. All of those are pretty much the same size. And so they're really easy to use for all of those. If you don't have a tool that is going to help you post easily, then you will struggle with this a little bit because then you have to go to all the different apps on your phone. So we'll talk a little bit about the different posting tools, but of course you can post right inside of Canva to at least a couple of those. I don't think it connects to YouTube yet, but I'm not positive about that. So this is kind of what I talked about earlier. Lives are the best, stories are second best, but stories die within 24 hours. So you don't want to have your stories be your most important things. I would always have a reel, and then it subsequently is a story that posts as a story as well. So that way it doesn't go away within 24 hours. You want to keep your content going, right? And then posts are the last one, and those are typically the squares. If you create a square in Canva, you're going to be able to post to LinkedIn, you're going to be able to post to Facebook, Instagram. Obviously, YouTube is video, so it won't be that. But if it's a post, you'll be able to post to all three of those without it being cut off. So because Instagram requires the square, and then Instagram requires you to do a JPEG and not a PNG. So the difference is a JPEG will have your image, but then a PNG will have a transparent background. And so it doesn't really matter on these posts if the background is transparent. So always download your social posts as a JPEG inside of Canva. All right, so these are the demographics. So this answers your question a little bit about where should I post. So that you can see that the numbers here are 25 to 34-year-olds are 31.5% of on Facebook, right? So then everybody else is older than that. And then as far as Instagram goes is 8, this has actually gone up in the last couple of years. It used to be 28. So it's 18 to 34-year-olds, which is 67% on Instagram. So if this is your target audience, you should definitely be on Instagram, right? YouTube, 95% of people are 18 to 29 years old. But of course, so many other people are on it too. I mean, there are millions and millions of people on every single one of these platforms. So then as far as TikTok goes, definitely a younger crowd. And then, but it's getting a little bit more so, right? This is TikTok as well. The stats gave me both of these, so I went ahead and put them both on here. So 25% of people are 29 to 44 years old. Personally, I'm 42 and I love TikTok because TikTok has this amazing algorithm that shows me exactly what I want to see. I want to see personal development. I want to see all of the amazing things about astrology, right, Hito? Just all of these things that I want to see. So I love it so much. And then, of course, LinkedIn, 25 to 34 years old is 58% of the audience, but LinkedIn is going to be a little bit more business, so a little bit more B2C, so or B2B. If you're selling business to business, LinkedIn is your platform, right? But if you're selling to customers, B2C, then I would probably go with some of the other ones, and then every once in a while post on LinkedIn. Don't make it your target if you're just selling to people. So I'm gonna go back and see if there's anybody has any questions in the chat yet. Okay, perfect. What are your thoughts on ChatGPT versus Copilot? I don't use Copilot, so I don't know a whole lot about it. There is a new one out that I heard is the next best ChatGPT, and it's called Perspective or Perplexity. So supposedly Perplexity is the next ChatGPT. It has more up-to-date information. They have a free version and a paid version as well. So I can't really speak on Copilot, but I would say that a lot of people are really starting to talk about this Perplexity, and I've been using it a little bit, and I still personally like ChatGPT better, but I think it's because I don't know how to use Perplexity to its best yet. So I would say one of those two in my opinion, is going to be the best. And that's coming from someone that's in there every single day. I am in ChatGPT every day. Okay, so except if you don't have TikTok downloaded, you can't get it back right now. Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you deleted it whenever it got banned or just never had it in general, it's not in the App Store anymore
Yeah. Okay.
for now. I
Yeah.
don't know. But
Interesting. Well, I had it, thank goodness. I would have been crushed. I was crushed the day that it was down. For just a minute, I was like, oh no. This is
oh, it
not
went down before it was supposed to.
really.
So yeah, it was sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Hito asks, any tips for YouTube Shorts. So my biggest tip for YouTube Shorts would be to use that Opus Clips that I was talking about, and you can actually, from your long videos, create those short videos. Or if you're creating a YouTube short, then you want to make sure that your thumbnail, the picture that pops up whenever you schedule it, is something very striking. So you want to have big words and things like that on it. So I want to show you guys real quick. And I will be able to stay for a few minutes after if anybody has questions as well. But you can actually create, you can go in here. Sorry, it's running super slow. Yeah, it's definitely not liking. So you can actually go in and create a thumbnail that you can use on all of your videos. So if you have videos that speak to certain things, like Hito does astrology, and she does astrology readings for people, and she's creating a course right now for astrology and for life coaching and all of that. And she can go in here and create a thumbnail that is going to be, that she can use every single time on those certain types of posts. So that would be a really, really great template to create. And I wish it was working, but it's not. So we can definitely talk about that later too. I'll close out all of these because this might be part of my problem. And Canva, just so you guys know, automatically saves. So you don't have to worry about just closing these and not being able to come back to them. Okay, here we go. So thumbnail, YouTube, short. And you can see over here in the left-hand corner, it's going to pop up a bunch of designs for you to use. So you want to see like these big things, right? So these big letters are always going to help you. But again, use your fonts, your colors, and your logo on these. But you can see that they're super visually appealing and have those big, bright fonts and the bright colors, right? So that would be my biggest suggestion. And when you're posting it from your phone, it's not easy to find. So when you're posting from your phone, you actually have to click the little pencil icon on the video, and that will help you choose the thumbnail that you want to use. So, and you guys have any questions after this, just let me know as far as things like that, a little more specific. Hito, that's an excellent question, and I haven't figured that out yet if Opus Clips work in other languages or not. I know that that's a big question for you because a lot of your audience is Japanese. And just so you know, Hito, this is my little sister, Christine, and she's half Japanese. So anyways, so we'll go back to this presentation real quick. And okay, so there's your demographics as far as age goes. These are demographics for female versus male, and they're pretty close. So I wouldn't worry too much about posting on a certain platform because your audience is only women or only men. But it's still interesting information for sure. All right, best times to post. This is so interesting to me that none of these say anything about the weekend. So basically, they all want you to be posting during the week, but I would still post on weekends because I would keep up that consistency. TikTok is the only one that says 8 a.m. on Sundays. So LinkedIn 9 to 5, obviously, because it's a business platform on weekdays, and then 3 to 4 p.m. on Fridays for YouTube, 7 to 8 a.m. every day on Instagram, and then 9 to 10 on weekdays for Facebook. If you post inside of your Facebook, inside of your content planner that's in Facebook, then it will actually tell you when your audience is on that is going to see your posts more. So that is something to really pay attention to because different audiences are going to be different. These are just averages of who's on there and what times that they're going to see your stuff. All right, and this is the 50 plus list that I talked about, and I will send you guys this, of course, but these are different ideas on what to post. Like I said, if you have a plan, it is going to be so much better than going in every single morning and being like, ugh, what am I going to post on social media today? So we definitely want to have that plan. So again, you guys will get this as well. And if you go on ChatGPT and ask it to create you a list of 100, choose 7. Right? Choose 7 for each one of your templates that you're going to go into Canva and create. All right, and so this whole presentation is brought to you by Ascend, which is our newest coaching program, which is amazing that people are already onboarding into this, and I haven't really even put it out into the world. So thank you, because a couple of you guys are even on the call today. So thank you so much for trusting WebWorks and myself with your brand. So these are QR codes to find out more about Ascend, which is the coaching program for coaches, and then personal creation, which is creating the greatest vision of the grandest version of yourself, which is more like life coaching. And it's a membership and it's a platform where all these women come together and we are able to grow and heal together. And we have different, like this business strategy call goes to both of these groups. And basically, inside of personal creation, Stephanie can attest to this. It is life transforming, and it's a year long, and we go through beautiful workbooks, and you guys will see the beautiful workbook that I'm going to send you after this. And we are able to really transform our lives and create the best version of ourselves, because I have been on this journey for about 13 years and I am super proud of who I am today. And I want the same for many, many, many other women. All right. Okay. So thank you so much for showing up. And I am so proud of you for just being here and creating things for your business, right? It's so amazing to be able to use these kind of things to the best of their ability. So things can actually happen super quickly for you. Um, and if anybody wants to come off of mute, then you totally can come off of mute and ask any questions that you want to ask about Canva or YouTube or whatever social media that you would like. Or you can put it in the chat. I saw you got disconnected, Stephanie, and then came back in. Perfect. Oh, and Hito has her cat. So yeah, if you guys want to come off mute and ask any questions, I'll stay on for a couple more minutes. Otherwise, if anybody is, you heard all you want, I will send you the workbook, I will send you the recording, and I will send you the presentation. So that way you have access to all of it. And then of course, after that, you guys will have my email address to ask me any questions you may have.
Thank you so much, Trisha. This was really, really helpful. So I'm excited to use all of this knowledge. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're very, very welcome.
And I got cut off at the personal whenever you said that, but yes, it's been really, really great. So thank you again for all of that too. And as soon I tried to unmute myself and I clicked out of it. So
All good. Thanks
thank
for being
you.
here. Yep. No questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Trisha, thank you so much. It was very informative and very interesting. I guess these things keep changing, so I'm glad I got to know the updated info. And my question is, I know I'm working with you now, but and I'm supposed to give you the design, I want the creative board.
Yeah.
But should I be starting the color palette that you showed us today?
Yeah, so we can either pull colors from the Pinterest board that you create. So one thing that Hito and I are doing together is she's creating a Pinterest board to show me what she likes. So that way I'm able to create her landing page and her funnels from what she loves visually. So I would say you're going to typically pick images that you like the colors on. So you're more than welcome to go to that Coolers website that we talked about. It's in your spreadsheet as well, or in your like action item to-do list. So you can go there and create your color palette, or we can do it right off of your Pinterest boards on one of
Okay.
our strategy calls.
Okay. And I guess to come up with those colors, I guess what I'm wondering is like maybe I should go with the ideas first, right? Like what type of because to choose colors I have to know what I want, right? Like what I like, and not just visually, but what color goes with what I'm doing in my business, like what I'm envisioning. So I guess I'm thinking of just like, coming up with like what kind of clients, people, what words, the brand value words that you were talking about, and then maybe come up with the colors from there?
Yeah, so it's all branding, right? I mean, branding is this big overarching, like who you're speaking to, right? So you definitely want your colors to speak to your audience. It's just like Stephanie was talking about, right? She wants her logo to speak to her audience. Well, I am her ideal client. So I'm starting to get to the age where I'm like, okay, I need to worry about anti-aging and I need to worry about this skincare. And I love those bright colors. So it's like even asking people, what do you like? Ask your clients. I mean, there's nothing wrong with sending a logo to other people and getting their opinion, but I would definitely take all of that into account whenever you're doing your colors, your messaging, um, obviously your social media posts, right? Who are you speaking to? Just because you think it looks good doesn't mean they will. But at the same time, a lot of times, like I said, you are your target audience, right? 5 years ago, you would have needed you, or 10 years ago, you would have needed you. And so, because a lot of times we teach or we have the type of businesses that are going to come from a place in us that we have healed, right? So just think about that, like who you were 5 years ago, right? What would have been visually appealing to you? And you still definitely want to use what you like now, so you are proud of it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think I'll just I'll come up with the like what I like and what my audience would like and come up with the sorry, the cover the cat was licking my fingers. I could
Well, I could almost pick your colors for you because I see what you wear almost every day.
Oh
So,
yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like you could almost pick up what your favorite colors are just from your wardrobe, right? So just think about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I like things towards like warm colors for sure. So
Hmm.
um yeah, I'll think about that.
Absolutely. All right. Anybody else have any questions?
Hi, Trisha.
No.
So, what was to pick the color palette? It's cooler.co.
Yeah, Coolor. Is it S?
Oh, O-R.
Yes, it's definitely spelled weird. Cool. Yep, COOLORS.co. It's super
Cool.
fun to play
That's where I
around
was
in
going
there.
wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. This was great. Thank you so much. And I'm
you're welcome.
excited.
Thanks for
I know.
coming.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming today, and I will be sending all that stuff out that I mentioned here shortly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.